Genesis 1 describes three things that were never said to have been created anywhere in the Bible. They were just there at the beginning when God began to create. Scholars these days believe that Genesis 1:1 is a temporal clause that is not describing an absolute beginning, but it's just saying when God began to create the heavens and the earth was welter and waste, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. So the earth, darkness, and the waters were already there when God began to create.
There's a discussion going on between two people regarding the interpretation and translation of Genesis 1:1. In short, if the translation says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth," then verse 1 of Genesis 1 is identifying a absolute beginning point. The other side is arguing that Genesis 1:1 should be translated "when God began to create the heavens and the earth." This would make it a dependent clause, meaning that it runs into verses 2 and 3. So it would say, "When God began to create the heavens and the earth was formless and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God hovered over the face of the waters." This would mean, in turn, that material things were already in existence when God began to create. Now, I actually support the second option, so let's talk. Firstly, it fits the ancient Near Eastern context a lot better. We know that creation texts of the ancient world didn't really start with an absolute beginning point, but rather on the first occasion or the first time event. We also know in the ancient world that people were more concerned about the function of the material world rather than the creation of that material world. As Dr. John Walton notes, functional creation over material creation. Thus, a translation "when God began to create" that allows for material things to have already existed by the time God shows up to create in this text fits that A&E background pretty well. Secondly, this interpretation finds Second Temple Jewish support. Some Jewish interpreters thought things like the Garden of Eden, earth, hell, and other things were already in existence before God began to create in Genesis 1:1. So this here is my article arguing for a functional creation view of Genesis 1. So you guys can check that out on medium.com or followsoftheshepherd.org by typing in like functional creation. If you guys want some popular access stuff for this, you guys can check out these two videos and other videos from What Your Pastor Didn't Tell You. But in these videos, he offers more grammatical and historical support. So I would agree with the scholar here as opposed to the Christian who's responding. When God begins to give function to the heavens and the earth and other material things were already there.